forgiveness is about not necessarily forgiving and forgetting, as the world likes to show us, but forgiving and letting go. And the real purpose for it is to let go. Because if we hold on to resentment or disappointment or any negativity that we're feeling towards someone else, then obviously that means there's a blockage there. We're stuck. And the whole idea of energy and energy health is that energy needs to flow. So if I'm holding on to a grudge, if I'm holding on to disappointment, and I'm making a judgment call on somebody, I'm blaming them or whatever have you, then obviously that means that energy is not flowing in that part of my system. And eventually that gets caught up. And eventually what that means is I'm going to have a really hard time feeling in balance. Now, if I don't forgive and let it go, that means I'm basically reliving that same incident in a very subconscious way. That incident, me feeling even, I want to say, as far as me feeling a victim in that incident, powerless in that incident, keeps replaying over and over and over again. Because from a truth standpoint, remember, there's no time or space. That means that even though this might have happened 20 years ago, unless I let it go, it's still happening today. On one level or another, I'm still living in that fright, in that pain, in that victim mode. And that means that, from my perspective, the biochemistry in my body is still secreting the same hormones to calm me down, and still trying to bring me to a place of homeostasis, right? Of feeling imbalanced within myself, as though it was happening to me right now. Now, what that also means is, because I'm living in this traumatic stage, because I'm still living in the state of the fear, the trauma with that person doing that injustice again and again, I'm going to actually, without even knowing it, I'm going to be inviting more and more of these situations with other people in my life to parallel and awaken this experience with me again and again and again. So a good indication for me and you as to whether or not I've really forgiven and letting go of a certain situation in my life is I can gauge and see, is this something that keeps happening to me again and again and again? Is this something that is a repeating pattern in my life again and again and again? Because if it is, then it probably means that sourced in this repetition, there's something that I haven't come to peace with. Now, Hashem, I always say, Hashem calls us a stiff-necked nation, right? Am kshei oref. But I say, He's our Father, He's our Creator. What does that make Hashem, so to speak? The father of stubbornness, correct? You got it, right? What does that mean? I'm saying this in a humorous, very loving way. That means Hashem is very stubborn, quote unquote, right? Humanizing something we don't understand. He's very stubborn in getting us to heal. And He will invite us over and over and over again to visit and revisit an unfinished state, so that we will finally address it and come to terms with it and be in shalom with it, so that we can move on. So instead of us feeling as though this is unfair, why is this happening? How come I'm always magnetizing into my life ingrates? Why am I always feeling betrayed? I felt rejected from my parents. Why do I always feel rejection from other people in my life? Instead of me playing into that mode again, I need to now step away for a moment and say, wait a minute, there must be something that's unresolved in my space that I need to come to peace with. Because the only reason why that keeps happening to me again and again and again, not because Hashem is out to get me, it's because there's something that I need to come to terms with. And when I come to terms with that, chances are that original trauma, that original event that is at the core of me bringing it back into my life again and again and again, then chances are, Be'ezrat Hashem, I'll be able to break that pattern and finally be able to move forward.